Hi, so I'm Johanne, and I've recently completed all 12 exams for the CIMA qualifications. It's been an incredible journey that first started in London and then finalised here in Asia, where I'm currently based. It's also a journey that I could not have completed without the support of Astranti. Throughout my exams, both the case studies and objective tests, I've relied on them for the provision of the supplementary study text, mock exams, as well as the field courses for each of the case study exams. Absolutely amazing. With this support, I not only managed to sit all 12 exams and pass them as a first timer, but I also managed to become a top prize winner for a number of these exams. And this included a joint third best in the world for the management case study exam in February 2022, as well as the top achiever for Southeast Asia for the strategic case study exam in May 2023. Absolutely unreal. I just did not expect this at all. I remember I came out of the management case study exam and I was mentally exhausted. I sat down on the stairs in front of the exam venue for about 15 minutes, just staring into nothing. And I can't even today remember what I wrote or what was the answers, but I felt that I passed it. But I also felt that I could have done a little bit better. In hindsight, there was a couple of industry examples I could have felt that I could get into the answer, but I ran out of time. I was therefore speechless when I opened up on the online portal and saw my results and the score, which was incredibly high. And I reached out to my local CIMA office, who quickly confirmed that I was probably the best in the Asia Pacific region. But about 6 weeks later, I got a letter as I landed back in London to say that I'd become joint best in the world, joint third best in the world, which is incredible. For my strategic case study exam, again, I was confident that I passed, but I felt that the structure of the last section had been less than ideal. Therefore, I sort of became speechless as I was informed that I was a top achiever for the region. And indeed, I'm sort of kicking myself a bit for this exam because I could have done better, I felt. But it's done. I'm usually happy. I just needed to pass. As with any CIMA exam, and in particular the case study exams, there are no shortcuts when it comes to these exams. So I allowed around 7 to 8 weeks to study for these, and I fully relied on the brilliant course provided by Astranti. The course for each of the operational, management and strategic case study exam gave me an excellent structure to work with, which was also very comprehensive, included the detailed review of the case studies themselves, the top issues, the strategic review, master classes, as well as exam techniques. But most importantly, I think the provision of mock exams is essential, and it's essential to pass these exams to do it well. I was very fortunate that I had great markers. They were very supportive and very experienced, and they guided me very quickly as to the required structure and the level of answers required in order to score well. In addition to getting the outline of the answers with headings to allow the reader and marker to run through the response in a logical manner, they also guided me as to the structure of each point with an argument, why it was relevant, as supporting evidence. And this is absolutely critical because you always need to refer your arguments back to either the unseen or pre-seen, or you can refer to some kind of industry examples. Each paragraph needs to be short and succinct. And again, Astranti helped me through that to guide me in terms of the length and size of the paragraphs and that kind of stuff. And as well have enough detail, so it can't be waffle. Basically, in general, I worked 1 to 2 hours per day and more over the weekend. I even took my study with me on holiday. So whilst my husband went for a gym or down to the beach, I did about 1 to 2 hours per day in the morning. But it was worth it in the end. I was so happy. I'm so happy to finish this journey. It's been amazing. Really, the biggest struggle is the breadth of the subject matter for each of these exams. The syllabus is absolutely massive across the P column, the F column, the E column. And not only sort of revising, the syllabus itself, but in putting it in a practical sense and relate to the case studies. And for these reasons, I think the mocks are essential. And in addition to the 3 mock exams as provided, marked by Astranti, I also undertook about 4 or 5 mock exams myself by using those set out as part of the course material. And by doing that, I felt really prepared for the exams. And the last week for me prior to the exam itself is all around summarizing what I've learned. And I used then the structure for each of these mock exams to putting on memory cards, providing, what's going to be the backbone for each answer in the actual exam itself. In terms of anything else for this exam, probably not. You just need time because there's a lot to do. So I think the most important to have a clear learning structure path at the start of your each exam journey. So being structured as well as committed to that timetable that you set out is key. So I used weekly milestones of what I needed to achieve this week. And if I didn't quite manage to get there by a Sunday evening, I worked extra hard that Sunday evening. But this helped me, and I'm sure help others, to move forward in the preparations and take on board the variety of skills that you require for this exam. In addition to understanding the subject matter, the case study exams is actually all about exam techniques, and Astranti teaches you on how to answer the requirements and how to do it efficiently. It gives you confidence when in the actual exam, and it allows you to quickly plan and execute responses to each. I think it also gives you the confidence to persevere. And indeed, I remember in the operational case study exam that there were 2 questions or 2 topics that was asked, which I actually couldn't quite remember. And I wasn't that confident about, but by using the technique that Astranti taught me, I was managed to put down a logical outline to my answer, and I answered on that basis. And I did it to my best ability, and it was good. I did that well in that exam as well. So I remember when I did, all the videos preparing myself for the exams, and especially about exam technique, and the last one said that you need to be a little bit pumped up and get your heart beating. And that's always something I've done before the exam. I sort of do a little bit of a jiggle, I cross my hands, and I go in with confidence into the exam place. And I get everything set out in the station and just feel really positive within yourself and ready for what's going to be ahead, because it's so hard and it would be so intense. So do that, and then be calm and measured as well. Get your timings right. Timing is everything in this exam, and you need to plan and set out your structure for each response very, very quickly. And then be conscious of the overall time and be prepared to move on to the next answer or next requirement if you pass that magical number, because you score 60 to 70% of your marks in the first 10 to 15 minutes. There's no point having a perfect first answer, and then the second part of the question you only have a couple of minutes. So yeah, that should be good. And then also utilize all the time available. In the exam venue that I sat, it was another person taking the same exam, and he walked out about 45 minutes earlier than me. And I just don't understand how we can go through it, because I used every minute there is. And type fast. Yeah, you need to type fast.